So guys, breaking news, Amazon have just announced the brand new Fire TV Stick HD, and it may just be the most controversial Fire Stick ever to be released, because on the surface it does look great. It's a slimmer device. We finally get a Type-C USB power port. It can be powered directly from your TV. So for a casual user, it may actually be a nice little refresh, but there's a huge catch. This new Fire Stick runs Vega OS, and what that basically means is it's not running Android, so no side loading, no custom apps, no custom freedom, no launcher modification, no easy workarounds. So for the majority of Fire Stick users, this really is no upgrade whatsoever. In fact, do leave me a comment below if you do currently sideload on your Fire Stick, or if you're happy with the standard Amazon based applications. So in this video today, let me show you exactly what Amazon have changed with this new Fire Stick, what you lose, and whether this is the beginning of the end for future Fire Sticks. But I do think one of the biggest issues with this new device is this Amazon telling us that be ready for a non-Android based future. Vega is here to stay, and slowly now, more and more newer devices, more powerful devices, like maybe the Fire Stick 4K Max, maybe the Fire Stick 4K, all these devices now will come out with Vega OS only. So if you want a newer device, it has to be based on Vega. It could be Amazon telling us that, and I think if that happens, many people will be very frustrated, and I think they'll definitely jump ship to any other platform where they won't have these kind of restrictions. So first up, we can see that the hardware for a budget device does actually look quite nice. This is going to be Amazon's slimmest Fire Stick so far, designed to be ultra portable and easy to power directly from your TV's USB port. So for travel setups, for hotels, when you're on holiday, this could be genuinely useful. This device also supports Wi-Fi 6, so the previous Fire Stick HD only supported Wi-Fi 5, so you should get better connection, better speeds, and just overall better streaming experience. It also supports Bluetooth 5.3, it does have the latest A-word remote control and a much cleaner physical design. So again, on the surface, it looks like a pretty good device. You can see on the Amazon website how they try to sell it that this is the newest model. And what this basically means is, again, so many people are going to be browsing Amazon, looking for a new Fire Stick because maybe they've seen videos, maybe they've heard from their friend that a Fire Stick is great, you can install applications, you can load it up. So they go to Amazon, they look for the latest Fire Stick, they buy this model, but when they try to install something, because of that limiting Vega OS, it basically means you're not running Android, you can't install APKs, you can't sideload applications, you can't use downloader, you can't run advanced utilities, you can't really move or manipulate files, and you have no chance of using any kind of custom launcher. So those massive limitations is going to be a big problem for anybody that likes to do anything more than just basic streaming on their Fire Stick. Now we can see spec-wise compared to the others, it is limited to 1080p, but again, for a budget stick, that's more than sufficient, and you do get the standard certifications like HDR10, HDR10 Plus, HLG. It does support Dolby encoded audio, but you won't get anything like Dolby Atmos, which is reserved for the slightly more pricier sticks. You get 8 gigs of storage, it does support Wi-Fi 6, and it does come with the brand new Fire TV experience, the new home screen. So again, from that point of view, if you're interested in that, you may like it. If you're not interested in sideloading any applications, if all you use are the standard Netflix, Disney's, the standard apps, then maybe as a budget stick, you may be interested in a device like this. This was also posted today on Elias's AFTV news, and we can see some of his comments when they said this is the slimmest ever streaming device. Has anybody ever complained that a Fire Stick is too bulky or too big? No, they haven't, but it's strange that Amazon are using this as a headline, as a big selling feature, because really nobody really cares that the Fire Stick is a certain size. Says Amazon now said this is now 30% faster than the last generation HD stick. This is the same claims they made on the Fire TV Stick 4K Select. This really wasn't apparent when you actually use the device. It may just be in certain test scenarios the device may seem to be faster. He also mentions that you now no longer get a HDMI extender, which is normally very handy, especially to improve Wi-Fi performance, to move it a bit away from your TV. I would always recommend use the extender, but we can see with this new Fire Stick, Amazon have actually removed that from the box, and they also no longer include a power adapter. So, I mean, you could argue that the fact that the new Fire Stick can be powered from the TV, but there has been risks with that where if for whatever reason the device doesn't get enough power, maybe your device is going through an update and the TV just decides to shut down the USB port, Because of that, the update will never complete and you'd end up then potentially bricking your device. So I personally would never recommend powering your device from the USB port. I would always use a mains adapter and plug it into the wall. And he closes by saying that you may expect the hardware that's nearly identical to what was released 6 years ago and $26 worth of accessories that have been removed from the box. The new Firestick HD would be much cheaper than the outgoing model, but it's still $34.99, guys. So really, for that price point, you're getting hardware spec from 6 years ago. Yes, you do get the USB Type-C port, but the rest of the internals are the same. They've also removed the HDMI extender, they removed the power adapter, and they've now given you Vega OS on that. So really, at that price point, is this device worth it or not? Do leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. It's worth mentioning that if you're staying on an Android-based Fire Stick, then I would recommend making sure that you keep your device as safe and secure as possible, particularly if you are using third-party streaming applications. I would say VPN is essential in that scenario. I personally recommend IPVanish. You can scan the QR code to get a special discount, and it really is the best way to support me and my channel, so many thanks for doing that. So wrapping up, guys, who is this new device actually for? I would say if you are a casual streamer, if the only applications you use are the standard streaming applications, you've never sideloaded in your life, you have no interest in tweaking or customizing or doing any changes on your device, then maybe for a budget device, it could be an option. But personally, I think it's much cheaper to buy an Android-based device, like maybe an On device, or maybe even one of the older Fire Sticks 4K, which are based on Android. I would rather get an Android-based device, any Android-based device, than a lockdown device like this. But do leave me a comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.